Welcome students for online classes. So today we'll start a new chapter under Indian economy, that is chapter 6, rural development. So earlier we had studied what was human capital formation. In this chapter we will study about the development which should be made under the rural areas. So in this chapter we will study the key issues or the problems of rural development. Next one, the problems, whatever problem which had arisen under the key issues, we will be solving all those under these things, that is the rural credit, agricultural marketing system, and lastly about the sustainable development or organic farming. So we will study these things under the chapter rural development. So the topic which we will study in this particular session is the meaning of rural development and the problems which are arising under the rural development. So what is rural place? It is a village area or the interior place or the remotest area where proper facilities are not been available. So because of this, it is still not in the developing stage. So because of this, it is still in the underdeveloped stage, where more and more slum areas are being there, where increase in the some kind of negativity or some kind of problematic thing. Because of this, what happens, our particular India is not been growing or it is not being developing. So what happens, when the village area comes into picture, majority, that is 3/4 of the population which have been living in the remote or the rural areas. So why is the population increasing in these particular areas? Just because they are having no proper information, maybe any kind of birth control measures or maybe any kind of educational measures. So because of this, what is happening, there is no proper information given to all these people. Because of this, the population is been increasing, there are no proper educated people. So all the necessary campaigns, all the necessary information should be even reached to all these people also. So that is first and foremost thing which should be known under this chapter. So what is rural development? The improvement of the socio-economic life of rural people by providing basic infrastructure which enables them to engage in productive activities is called as rural development. So what is it? So first and foremost, the standard of living of the people must be increased. So how will it be increased? First thing, we need to provide the basic infrastructure, that is the road, the irrigation facility, the dams, all these things comes under the infrastructure which will provide other transportation facility. Once you get the transportation facility, what can you do? You can travel through many places, you can search for jobs, you can go for a proper job, or you can even have a proper education facility. So even the women need not walk for a longest hours to bring water. In spite of that, what can we do? We can fix a motor, we can do any pump, all these things can be done. Once you get to know what is the development to be made in that particular area. So because of this, the people should engage in most and most in the productive work. Not only in the farming, they should even come to the industries, they should even come to the service sector, so that majority of the work is being given under the service sector. So once they get the job opportunities, what happens, the development automatically comes into picture. This is known as rural development. Now, what are the problems which are arising under the rural development? It is told that the growth of the real India is possible only from the development of rural areas. Why? Because majority of the rural areas are present in India. So only some of the places, that is only some of the cities are being highlighted. Even in spite of that, what are their majority of the percentage of the population are been living in this rural area. So because of this, the creation of the employment opportunities, maybe getting any kind of monetary fund or monetary assistance, all these things are very much difficult for the people who live in the rural areas. Why all these things are very much difficult? Just because the people who live in the rural areas are not being aware that these kind of assistance are being given to them by the government. So which is first and foremost, or which is the most important thing which you need to do, is the creation of campaigns or creation of any kind of information to this particular interior places or to the rural areas. So what are the problems? Let's see. First one is the development of human resource. So how the development of human resource can be done, that is the development of the personal skill development, all these things. First is the people should be engaged in the productive work, that is very much important. Productive work in the sense, not sitting in their home by telling that I need to do that, I need to do this. In spite of that, you are going out of your home, you do the necessary things. Not only it is not only important, you shouldn't do any kind of work. You can even help your parents, you can even help in the farming, you can, anybody in the economy can do any kind of productive work. So first and foremost, improvement in the literacy rate, especially for female. Why? Because in the rural areas or in the orthodox family, it is told that the female child or the women should not be learned. They, if they learn, they will come out, they will be doing their own work. So if they become independent, there will be a problem of the dominance between male and female. So that is told by everybody. So even in spite of that, when we need to adjust to the upgraded technology, when we need to adjust to the current generation, what is very much important, education is first and foremost the most important thing which you need to do in the economy. So first and foremost, under the rural thing, education is very much important, even especially for female. Why is it only stressing upon female? Just because female are not left out, or they are not coming out of their homes to, nowadays it is been changing just because of the development. Even though when we go to the rural area, some of the parents are not leaving their children to study. So that is one of the mainest thing. Next thing is about the increased facilities for education and skill development, which is very much important. Once you get the education, you automatically think we can either do this, we can either do that, we can go to that particular stream, or we can do our own business. All these things can be ascertained, or we can just think of that. Lastly, better, this is another main thing, better access to health, sanitation, public health and water supply. So what happens when the industries is being situated in the rural areas? They will be leaving all their harmful chemicals to the water, so which will be, the water will be polluted. So because of this, the people who live in the rural areas are not supposed to drink that. Why are they not supposed to drink that? Because of the chemical which is present in the water. So because of this, health is very much important, even with the sanitation, where you keep your surroundings clean, where you keep yourself clean, everything is foremost. Next one, about the public health, the toilets, the washrooms, which is very much important to be having in each and every room, each and every house. In spite of that, you can even, the government can even produce, or the government even give the public toilets all the necessary things. And lastly, about the water supply. So this was about the development of human resource. Second one is about the land reform measures. So what is land reform? Any changes which should be come under the land. So first one is the transfer of ownership of the land from the landholder to the tiller. So what used to happen, we saw zamindari system, we even saw the abolition of all those things. Even in spite of that, some of the landholders are paying money to the panchayats. Why are they paying? For the betterment or the maintenance or for the security of their particular place. Even in spite of that, what is happening, some of the richer people are being bribing the officers and being taking up all these things. So these things should be stopped. Next thing, abolition of absentee landlordism and other form of intermediaries. As told earlier, we need to stop all these necessary things. Why we need to stop? Just because even the poor people or even the small people should be given the opportunity so that they grow in the economy. So because of this, landlordism is very much important, which should be taken out into consideration. Lastly, prevention of exploitation for the tenants by the landlords by fixing fair rent, which is socially and economically efficient, and which is very much important. So what happens, I will be having 1 acre of land. I will be telling my tenants, or I will be telling the workers who come to my land that today I will be giving you 1,000 rupees, and when they come tomorrow I will be telling them that I will be giving 500. So that is not fair. So I need to fix a specific price, maybe 700, maybe 800, so that every day for wage, not only every day, they might take weekly wage or the monthly salary. So that should be fixed. Only then the workers will be given a fair opportunity under the land reform measure. So under this particular land reform measure, so the problematic thing whatever arises, we need to consolidate, or we need to take out into consideration. Next one is about the development of infrastructure. So why infrastructure is important? It is important for the smooth operation of the particular. So what happens once you cultivate things, what is very much important? You need transportation. For the transportation you need roads. So all these things, and even for the cultivation, what is important? Water is important, the irrigation facility is important, the dams are important. So all these facilities should be given by the government, so to the rural people or to the farmers, so that they can lead their life easily, so that they can transport their marketing things or any kind of cultivating things which they have done to the markets, everything which should be done smoothly and easily. Next one, the development, that is what should be developed, that is a rural road, irrigation, credit facility, that is the finance facility should be given, the marketing, what kind of price to be fixed for what kind of cultivated products, all those things, rural housing, rural electrification, this is very much important, where the light, the power facility should be given to the rural areas, the telecommunication, the communication problem, connectivity, research and development, all the things comes under the infrastructure, which should be provided to the end people very much in a very importantly manner. By this what happens, there will be no proper difficulty because of the connectivity of the roads. What happens, the rural people can even come to the urban area so that they can market their products. Okay, now the next thing is about the introduction of special measures. So what are the special measures? Special measures are like giving the employment opportunities to the weaker section. So what happens, I will be keeping, or I will be constructing a home or a house. So at this point of time, what can I do? I can give them employment opportunities. They can come to my particular place, they can work under that. Not only that, when I construct a industry, so what happens at that particular point of time, majority of the laborers can come and work there. So employment opportunity is very much important in the economy, just because to gain money, once you gain money, what happens, automatically the standard of living of the individual will increase, or there will be changes, there will be some percentage of the changes in the particular individual when they have a proper employment. Okay, next thing, creation of permanent assets. Now which are the permanent assets? That is the construction of road, bridges, school buildings, irrigation projects, etc. So roads are very much important for the transportation facility, bridges, even bridges. So and even providing or provision of education, when only when there are school buildings, or when only when the government helps the rural people in all these things, there can be the problem of the rural people can decrease. Okay, now the next thing is about development of cottage and small scale industry. So what happens at this particular point of time, nowadays, because of the upgraded technology, because of the new technology coming into place, we are only taking into consideration only the machineries, only some percentage of the people will be engaged into the work. So but even in spite of that, what can we do? We can do the labor intensive industries. By then what will happen, the employment opportunities will increase, the people in the rural area can come to the urban areas and do the necessary work. So it is very much important. So what is cottage and small scale industry? These are the small industries which can be set up by each and everybody in the economy. Why? Because only 25 lakh can be given, or only with the investment of 25 lakh we can have a cottage industry, with the investment of more than 25 lakh, we can have a small scale industry which will be very much easier for the rural people to invest, just because they can even take a loan from any kind of credit facility banks, and they can even take any kind of loan from the landlords. Everything can be done, so which is very much easier. Or they can even go to any kind of industries to work, where the employment opportunities are there. And lastly, what happens by this, it will lead to increase in the economic status of the rural people. So economic status in the sense, now I will be living in a hut, so within a span of time I might change my house, I might change, I might have, I might now I might be having a bicycle, but in within a span of time, what might happen, I might have a scooty, I might have a bike. Everything can be changed once you have a proper employment opportunity with you. So these are about the problems which are arising in the economy, and which can be solved with the help of these particular information given to you. Okay, so the assignment part, what is rural development? List out the major problems of rural development. Thank you, students.